temperatures, so you can bear with Mother Nature these days. In any case, sooner or later we'll be approaching cooler weather and hopefully some more rain, as we don't need to be reminded. But with rain comes some different driving habits that we should certainly be looking after, and one namely slowing down, especially out here where you don't have to worry about bumper-to-bumper traffic. Otherwise, we tell you to make sure you don't follow too close as well. But with that, I want to go into the statistics for the month of September. I'll start off with the collision statistics as reported to our department. In September, in the Agua Dulce area and the adjoining freeway as well, there were a total of 38 reported traffic collisions. Of those 38, only 16 were reported to have injuries, and of those traffic collisions causing injury, the most grave or most serious injuries were fractured femur, which is pretty serious, but the rest of them were only minor lacerations and contusions and just complaints of pain. There was only, and I say only because usually it's a little bit higher than that, only one reported DUI-related traffic collision, and it involved a solo vehicle on Escondido Canyon, and the only injuries were to the driver, who happened to be DUI, so that cancels out in my book. So in any case, that's the traffic collisions. I'd say we actually were pretty good for the month. I think it's a little bit below the average, so things look good so far for the start of the end of the year here. In terms of arrests, we had reported 12 DUI arrests. There were 2 other misdemeanor arrests related to a wrong-way driver. These were wrong-way drivers on the 14 as they were trying to turn around and get off an on-ramp because there was a traffic collision up ahead, a lot of traffic, and so unfortunately they met up with one of our officers there, so they were cited for that offense. And another one which was actually reported up St. Canyon for a speed contest. That was another misdemeanor arrest. There were no felony arrests whatsoever for September. In terms of citation statistics, I can provide you a summary. This is the monthly summary or year-end summary by month. For August. These are a little bit delayed. I don't have September, but in any case for August, in terms of citations issued for speed-related offenses, and keep in mind this is for our whole area, so it would encompass everything within the Santa Cruz or Newhall areas coverage, which is right up to the Agua Dulce Acton border, down to the Ventura County line, to the 138 and down to the 118. In any case, it relates to the whole area in general. For speed, there were 2,679 citations issued. There were 84 seatbelt citations issued. There were 22 child restraint citations issued as well. 51 for driving with a cell phone in their hand. And the other ones are really not significant. In comparison to last year, August, there were 2,102 speed citations. This year was 2,679, so we're up way over 500 citations for this year compared to last year. We were down a little bit on seatbelt citations because there were 100 issued last year, whereas opposed to 84 for this year. And the other numbers they're pretty close. The other thing I want to make mention, that's all for the statistics there. The other thing I want to make mention was that I think we had, at least from what I observed, a successful 2014 Agua Dulce Country Fair and Parade. We provide the traffic control services here along with some of the senior volunteers. I think this year went well, fairly well. It was well organized, and there were really few issues to discuss. The only thing I did notice, and it's something that's been brought up also by one of our officers who likes to work in this area, for the day of the parade, obviously there's a lot of people coming in from their, their ranches or properties or whatever else. A lot of off-highway vehicle use, stuff that doesn't belong on the road. That was that day when I was doing this and just looking straight ahead, and I said, there's this exception. Everybody wants to come out and see the parade, and you don't necessarily want to drive a big, clunky vehicle. So I overlooked that, but as it turns out, this other officer, Officer Bledsoe, who loves to work out here, he's made mention that he's had a couple run-ins with people choosing to drive their off-highway vehicles. Keep in mind, if you haven't been cited before for those offenses, you make sure that you're not operating those vehicles on a public roadway. If you're on your own property, if you're on a private dirt road, different story. Once you get on the county maintained road, where the vehicle code applies, then you have to abide by the vehicle code. Okay? There's a lot of sections of violations that could occur in terms of those. If you have something that's lawfully registered in the state, issued a license plate from the DMV, and everything that's required by law that's safety related on that vehicle, then that would be worthy of operating in the street. Otherwise, if you don't have that, keep it at home. All right. And with that, any questions?
I would like to thank you very much, Officer Vargas and Officer Short, all of you, and we couldn't have done without you guys. You were superb. You helped us so much with the parade, and I know that you did some things with your blinders on, but I could see a little thing that I thought it went real well, and because of you guys, and of all the help of the volunteers. And I think even the parade participants were pretty well, they were well behaved.
Yeah.
For a change. It was great.
According to my observations as well. So
Yeah, thank
I think
you.
it went well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Officer Shaw.
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't know if you're the correct person I should bring this up to. Perhaps I should bring it up to Rosalind. But I noticed the thing at Acton Vasquez High School, which is also, where the Agua Dulce children are.
Okay.
So it's Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District, one district of both. So I don't know what jurisdiction it falls under, who I should bring it up to, but if the high school entrance is on Red Rover Mine Road, in between Escondido and Sierra Highway, right? Okay. That's where high school entrance is. There's an entrance and there's an exit, kind of like a horseshoe shape, right? Okay. Very large, right? So there's a part where people turn, there's a left lane turn and they turn into the high school, right? And there's a part where they come out. There is absolutely no signs. At first I thought maybe it's the high school, that would be a reason, but there's no signs indicating 25 miles an hour, watch out for children. The same as we have at Agua Dulce Elementary or at Meadowlark. I think it's just maybe an oversight in the road department. Right. And as I'll report later, we're building a new high school, and the entrance is going to most likely remain on Red Rover. Right. So it's not like we're going to build it and it's going to be off of Escondido. There's a couple of signs on Escondido further down. Right. So I think we have a situation where a lot of people that use that between Escondido and Sierra Highway just simply don't know that there's a school there. There's got to be a small percentage that don't know that, right? Because they fly through. If it's parents and kids and stuff, even teenager kids, they're driving pretty good there. But there's a place where you turn left, and as you're turning, as the cars are lined up to turn left, let's say in the afternoon for pickup, there's cars that pass them on the right-hand side. Right. At full speed pretty much. And they think it's 45 there because that's what Red Rover is. Right. And I think there could be a case there where someone completely unbeknownst to them could end up hitting a kid because the kids see these people waiting to turn left, stopping, right, and they start crossing. I've seen it happen several times this year, and suddenly they see the other people coming through. So I don't know why there's no, school, 25 miles an hour, slow down, all those types of signs that we have at the other schools. Because I'm not familiar with that specific school since it lies right outside of our office's boundaries. Okay. I can't comment directly on that. I don't know what the layout is there. Typically, yes, in a school zone, as long as it's designated school zone, you'd have the warning signs, and anything in between that signage from one direction to the other direction
as long as it's posted 25 miles per hour while children are present, and that only applies while children are present, so they actually physically walk along the street there for us to be able to enforce that. That, if the signage isn't there, would that process had to be initiated with the Department of Public Works. They're the ones that are in charge of signing, also taking the surveys for the road and everything else, and they take everything into consideration there. So,
Okay, I'll get the information from our Madam
yeah,
Secretary.
certainly a call to the Department of Public Works would help.
Scott's got a question.
No, I brought that up before because that's in Acton area and it's in Norm's area.
Okay.
And
I'll talk to Norm.
the school district has to make application or notification to Public Works, and I brought it up before and they've ignored it. So the school district has to do something if they want it. I can't request it.
Okay.
It's got to come from the school
So
district.
the school board meeting tomorrow night, I'll bring it up.
Bring it up, and then if they vote on it, they can write a letter to
It's gotta be
Public
an
Works.
oversight. Obviously, as a school district, we totally want that.
You've got one for Acton School, but there's none for the other schools.
There's one at Meadowlark.
Meadowlark, yeah, but High Desert doesn't have anything.
Yeah, that's the only one out of the 4 schools that don't have.
And they should have that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Great.
It depends on what office you're working with, the Department of Public Works. We've talked to somebody in the traffic safety area, and they're generally speaking, they're pretty receptive, and they've actually responded to quite a few concerns that we have, something else that we have related in the Santa Clarita area. But certainly it's something that needs to be approached.
So Norm Hickling is that?
Norm Hickling, that's it.
Getting back on your thing, I made a really good connection at LA County signage. He's one initiated.
Steve, are you talking to the microphone there, please?
The gentleman at LA County signage, he's over it, and I'll give you his name. He is totally responsive to the community. One day after talking to him about Darling Road, they started a survey the next
The same one that
day.
initiated that.
The next day. And as he reviewed that, he noticed that the survey was running right at the tail end on Agua Canyon. So there's an ADTC survey going on Agua Canyon. The reason I bring this up is that as you're going up and down these roads, Darling and Agua Canyon, when they do these surveys, and they're 8 weeks, they last for 8 years before they do another survey. You are in control of how fast you want that signage to be in the future for the next 8 years by the speed that you go down Darling and the speed that you and your neighbors go down Agua Canyon. They take an 85% average of the speed between those markers, and that's how they determine what the speed's going to be. So if people are going 60 miles an hour down Agua Canyon and 55 miles an hour down Darling Road, it's going to, if you really wanted to get lower, go 5 or 10 miles below the speed limit during the survey period, and you basically will be guaranteed that your signage will either stay the same or be less. So it's really on the community. You brought it to us, we've acted on it, but now I'm giving it back to y'all that when you come up with these survey markers, be aware that that is going to be one of that 85% average of what that speed limit is going to be at the end of that 8-week survey. Is there a better way to explain that?
Well, there's certainly a case where, say in particular, Darling Road, the community members have a direct influence on what the future says, at least what the Department of Public Works would post on there. And certainly those rules do apply. There are other rules that Public Works also takes into consideration too, and happens to do with the road conditions and things like that. I don't work with them, so I can't tell you specifically. But in essence, that is the theory. You know, you can make those adjustments. If it's a road that only pertains to so many residents, it is publicly maintained and it is now being surveyed. Those residents have basically, in essence, the final say on how fast they want that roadway to be. But again, there's a lot of other conditions that will factor in as well, and that's stuff that I can't tell you because it would have to be the Department of Public Works.
So there's surveys going on where?
They were initiated, yeah, they were actually initiated on Darling Road. They had the basically little counters that they put up.
Okay.
You don't see them out here so much. They should, actually. I'm not sure how current Agua Dulce and Escondido
And that was initiated how?
through Public Works, and it's a contact. I don't know if I forward that contact to you. If not, oftentimes we'll receive that information, and if we see that it's something that we certainly have to communicate to the Department of Public Works, that way we do have those contacts.
I just don't remember talking about that at a meeting.
Go ahead.
It came up from conversation with CHP. It came up during the Sierra Highway, where we got the CHP working with us and the Weights and Measures working with us to slow down the Sierra Highway, which turned out very well. And then it came up from 5 different people that people were speeding on Darwin.
Did that happen at a meeting here?
No, that happened personally.
Okay, as far as the Public Works, they're aware that it wasn't the request of the town council. because
No,
we-
and if it's something that doesn't have to be a request of the town council.
I just don't want to be in the firing squad.
when people
When it comes back.
It's already painted on me.
The fact
Okay,
the fact of the matter is anybody can complain, and if it's valid enough for us to go ahead and forward the information to Public Works, we'll forward it. So, yeah, it can be done.
Thank you.
Okay.
I apologize for not having the stats, but as I explained to Acton on Monday, we have a new crime analyst who does it. I'm trying to break them in. They're so backed up because the other person left. They left a stat that wasn't me this time. So I'll have those next time, and I'll just read them twice. But we didn't have a lot this last month. We have had a problem with, and I know it's going to be the illegal filming. So, just to remind everybody, if you film, county policy or county code says public or private property requires a film permit in order to film. If you don't have one, you're in violation. And right now we're working on a policy because we've had some people who flaunt it, and even though they don't get tickets, the production company does. We are now going to be taking them to jail and hard booking them, and they're going to have to bail out. So, a couple of times of doing that, these people are going to go, you know what, it's not worth it to film because I'm going to get arrested and go to jail. And that stays on your record. So, I'm just saying that we've got inundated with complaints. And nothing against the Board of Supervisors office, but texting the Board of Supervisors office at 12 in the morning will not get a response from the Sheriff's Department. If there's a problem, you need to call the Sheriff's Department directly and we come out. Because I've been dealing with Norm, who's been getting text in the morning. It's like, well, what can I do when I'm asleep? Because he doesn't have direct contact and they can't dispatch cars, only we can.
So we should call the Palmdale Station.
Palmdale Station.
If there
And
is
say, hey, I want to report illegal filming. I've done a whole watch briefing for all the troops, showing all the codes they can cite for and take for. And so hopefully a few individuals, like I said, want to flaunt the law and ruin it for everybody else. So, but I don't, you're going to be addressing that. Yeah. So other than that, I think, like I said, we did have one fire department's not here, so I can. But I was up there for the brush fire that was behind Camp 11. They managed to put that out. They had 4 helicopters and a couple of fixed wing and super scoopers. And it was back far enough they had to actually fly guys in because there was no road. So it was a lightning strike.
Oh, okay.
One of the rare occasions that we had drops up here. It happened. So I think, anybody have any questions? By the way, the parade was fun.
That was a great one.
And we didn't have any horses arrested that are arrested this time. So
Hey, I wasn't sure you were in the parade,
I
okay?
was, see.
And the microphone door.
Is that what happened?
And that's what happened?
I thought they were afraid of me, so they ran away. So that was it. So
No, they
We
announced you
had
were
nice
going to wait
things
down.
about you.
Well, I did hear it hit the siren, so,
Uh,
did that. So,
Thank you again
no
for
problem.
helping us.
And, okay, nobody has any, yes?
We have one.
If Yeah, I got a question, because I actually was one of the ones that pissed Bledsoe off.
Not to mention names.
He did all the talking, I don't know what he was mad about.
I wasn't there.
Anyway, what's the story, because we're starting to get more overnight RVs on Dulce Canyon Road that aren't for sale.
If they're camping,
Yeah.
that's another county violation. It's illegal to camp on a county roadway. And you can get cited for camping. And there's a difference between, hey, my tire's off because it's flat, and my awning is out, and my barbecue's sitting here in my chairs.
And my windows are blocked up.
Yeah. So you can get cited for camping. In fact, we had one in your sister city the other day, and I ran it and found out the plates on it. It hasn't been in the DMV system for over 10 years.
That was the 84.
And that was,
There was one with 85.
he has a new home now, by the way.
What's up, Tony? Yeah.
Yeah, but he was parked on the side of the road, and it's like, well, I don't have any place to stay. We don't have a license either, so his car got a new home, and it's expensive to tow a motorhome.
And he has a place to park.
There's a place to park. And in 30 days, somebody may be able to buy it for something like that. But yeah, it's, we're having that problem because my understanding is the new people at Thousand Trails are enforcing that residency stay. So in 28 days or whatever, they're kicking them out for the week. And now they're looking for a place, and it's like, well, gee, do I pay for KOA, or, ooh, I'll think I stop on somebody's street. If you think it shouldn't be there, it probably shouldn't be, call us. I'm happy to come out and talk to them, see what we got. So, and I can do it in a nice way,
What are you saying?
get them convinced that they need to move, so
Great.
we'll do that.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
All right, happy first week of October. Halloween's coming. That's right. That's
Stuff happening in October at the library. It's a super busy month. We've already had a couple of events this month so far. On this past Saturday, the 4th, we had National Astronomy Day. And then we had, on Monday, we had 2 screenings of the film Girl Rising. And that's the first film of our new film series that just started. And I picked that film because on Saturday we're having International Day of the Girl. This is a UN designated special day, and it is to, of course, celebrate girls and girls' education, but also to bring a spotlight to the need for education, especially in developing countries, and the obstacles that girl children face in those countries. And that was the focus of the film Girl Rising. And then we also have our regularly scheduled events. We have our Toastmasters on the 2nd and 4th Thursday, Writers Group on the 2nd and 4th Friday, and Garden Club will also be this weekend on Saturday morning. And we're also having, as part of International Day of the Girl, we're having a special live stage performance called She's History. It's starring Amy Simon, and she portrays all different women throughout history, and modern women as well, who have made history and continue to make history now. We're also having 2 sessions of Medicare 101 to learn about the 2015 Medicare health plan options. That'll be on Wednesday, October 15th at 6, and Wednesday, October 22nd at 1 in the afternoon. Our Celestial Explorations Astronomy program is having one of their star parties. That'll be Wednesday, October 22nd at 6:30 p.m. Our Friends of the Library are having their 2nd annual movie trivia night fundraiser on Saturday, October 25th. And we're having our last Equine Health Series event of the year on Monday, October 27th. And that'll feature Sweetwater Veterinary Clinic's newest doctor, Dr. Sarah Barnes. And she will be doing a presentation on vaccinations. And then at the end of the month, on Thursday, October 30th at 6 p.m., we'll have college planning experts back, and they're going to do a presentation on financial planning for college. Okay, and I think that's it for me. Do you guys have any questions?
The governor signed the plastic bag ban. This ban is statewide, and it imposes a 10-cent fee on paper bags. The supervisor says it hurts financially depressed communities across the state, And the law only further hurts California economy by jeopardizing thousands of manufacturing jobs and forcing consumers to pay additional fees. He didn't support it. The board approved funding for a new senior center in Santa Cruz Valley. So they are planning right now. The city of Santa Cruz is also going to be contributing, as will the senior center. But they're looking for property and they're looking for space. And we've committed $3 million to that. The feds are moving to take over the county jails. They're looking at that in order to see that the ongoing mental health treatment and civil rights violations are remedied. Federal officials have acknowledged that the county has been addressing these issues for years and has successfully implemented changes to the extent of their ability. But full implementation is currently beyond the scope of the county resources. So further discussions will continue between the county and federal officials in the coming weeks. So it may occur. That's all I have.
And what exactly does that mean, that when you say the feds are taking over, they're going to actually have staff people at the jails? Or
No.
just have regulations that are more stringent?
No,
What's-
it would be a consent decree that will then order the county to do certain things, and the feds would watch over it. It's not that they would literally go into the jail.
Great.
They have the jurisdiction in
Correct.
something.
Okay. All right.
Questions?
Awesome. Got a question for you.
Yes.
So the feds went after the state and said they're overcrowded and not doing the same thing they're accusing the county of, and then they sent everybody to the county.
That's correct.
So what's the feds' next choice? Send them back to high school?
Far be it from me to have an answer to that question. My boss did not support that one. Prop 209.
Thank you, Rosa.
Thank you.
Steve was mentioning me that today it will be a good opportunity to mention about the film tax credit. I just want to bring to your attention now there's going to be, well, it passed, now it's a program. Now the film tax credit program replaces the current program that it was. Now independent films will have 5% more allocated. The features shall be allocated in 35%. The relocating television series shall be allocated 20%. Also, the new television series and pilots will have the 40%. So with that, the good thing is that Assemblyman Scott Will was the principal co-author for this bill, and since here we do have a lot of filming, I mean, he's encouraging more film industry to stay here. That will mean more jobs and less people traveling or going outside of the state, mainly keeping, in mind that you are a good opportunity to have here more filming. And also, it will help to stay Hollywood, to keep Hollywood in Hollywood. And Agua Dulce is considered part of that Hollywood area with everything you have to offer. And I just brought you that news for you.
Great.
What bill is that?
It's AB 1839.
1839.
Yeah, so it's gonna be, it's a done deal. And also, I just want to offer any help or if you have any question for anyone on the state side, I will be more than happy to answer your questions or to attend another time if you will consider that you would like to talk any state topic.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out.
We did have Andre Hollings. Is he with the?
Yeah, he's still working with
Okay.
him, but now he got assigned to the valley,
Okay.
and I'm going to be here in your area in San Rodriguez.
Do you have a card
Yeah.
with the contact information?
Yes,
Okay.
sure. Okay, I will pass that to you, all of you.
Thank you very much.
Film zone used to stop right just past Davenport. It's my understanding that that has expanded now, and if so, how far has it expanded and what does it entail?
Right. I haven't heard anything about it expanding, but I can double check with that and
Well,
get back to you.
in 2010, all of Agua Dulce was grandfathered in. If you have an Agua Dulce zip code, you're in the zone. And the zone maps haven't reflected that yet. We're fixing our websites to do that, because if a production company anywhere in the world got on to do the measurements, they would think you were out of the zone. The Cascade came in, they did this in 2010. It wasn't widely publicized, so it didn't really hit home. But anybody with an Agua Dulce zip code is in the zone. As of 2010, I talked to unions, it's solidified, and we're fixing the websites. I'd like to just clarify what we do. I'm the North Los Angeles liaison, which means from City of Santa Clarita up to Kern County, over to San Bernardino, and out to Ventura is my film territory. The state of California recognizes 41 film commissioners. I'm one of those film commissioners. We have territories, and our job is to recruit film production to our areas: feature films, commercials, still shoots, music videos, the like. This is recognized by every city and county as an economic generator, an engine for us. And in California's signature industry was almost lost, but yes, AB 1839 was signed by the governor on September 12th. This will go into effect on June 2015, July 1st, 2015, and we'll talk about those. What the state office is doing right now is writing the regulations and the policies, procedures, who can apply for these incentives, and what that might mean for California. I partner with Film LA. Film LA is a huge permit agency. They handle the City of Los Angeles and the County of LA. They are contracted to handle film permits. And what that means to you is, if we're gonna monitor these permits, we're gonna make sure that insurance is in line, and then we're gonna handle conflict resolution. And that's what Arturo's going to talk about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm here to help. I have cards, I have web pages. If you want to get your property listed as a film location, you can go on my website. On the dashboard, it says for communities. Hit that. It says add my property, add me as crew, add me as a resource. If you have cranes, tractors, whatever you do, we need to know you. So,
And that's part of the state of California.
I'm one of their film commissioners, yes, and my designated territory includes Agua Dulce. So we're proud of this industry. We want to keep it strong. We want to keep it here. It's our signature industry. A lot of history here. Vasquez Rocks has a rich history, and we want to promote it, but we want to do it in a safe, environmental, responsible way, and we want to be available. And to do that, we need to partner. So this is my colleague, Arturo.
Real quick, thank you, Pauline. So I just wanted to add, because the deputy made a point about if you believe there's illegal filming going on, to call his station. I definitely appreciate him doing that, but to be sensitive to their resources and to verify whether or not it is a permit, you can call our 24-hour line, 277-213-977-8600, and I'll leave my cards on the table too. Once you get the voice, hello, thanks for calling FMLA, press 2. And you will be automatically connected with one of our coordinators who will look up the address and clarify whether or not if it is a permitted shoot. As Pauline mentioned, we administrate all the permits, so there is another company out there that's saying, okay, now you've got the county approval. We are your official permitting entity. So you give us a call, we'll check it, and if it's not legal, we can also make the phone call to the sheriff's department, or if you want to do it, it's totally up to you, but we're here as that resource too. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, Philly's got one back there.
Two. We only give you one.
Yeah, one and one.
There's no restriction on properties then that you have to be zoned for filming, used for filming?
Well, that's a county regional planning question, but let me try to answer that if you can give me a few more specifics. There are sensitive, what we call significant environmental areas that may be impacted, that you might have to go through a CUP or some other, but it's really, you know, I'd have to know more specifics to answer that question.
It was a general question. I mean, generally speaking, every property on the Dulce site
Should be,
doesn't need a special zoning to be used for film.
no, because the film permit acts as a temporary use change.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Next question.
okay.
There's one property in this community that I feel is being singled out to limit their filming. Is there any other property in Dulce you're aware of that has a limitation on how often it can be used?
In Agua Dulce, I'm not aware of one. In fact, I'd like to know the one you're talking about, so we could probably help them or look into it.
And you don't have to highlight that right now, you can talk on it.
They're handling it themselves. I just don't understand. I didn't, in a letter I written to the board, I just want to make sure that there is no other property, because it seems unusual that one property is singled out, they're filming, nobody else has that restriction.
I can respond.
Okay.
It's actually not unusual, because we do have properties all over the county, and I'm not going to say hundreds, but there are properties that are tagged either by planning department or for other various reasons that have been frequently used. So it's not a surprise.
But not Dulce that you're aware of.
Not,
Thank you.
So if they filmed in a grocery store here, that would be what Bill is talking about?
If they filmed in a grocery store?
Grocery store, yeah.
If a grocery store is scouted and a permit is applied for, it goes through several agencies, look at the permit application. If there's a red flag anywhere, then we would have an option to go.
Do you think temporary?
No, the film permit is a temporary use permit to allow that the grocery store that sells groceries now can have a commercial entity and have filming in their grocery store for a limited period of time, meeting these criteria.
Can I have a card, please?
Yes.
Don't give us the bill for my house.
Great. Get on our website.
Pauline, there was one thing that, when you talk about bringing resources to the community, a lot of people think it's just increased resource into the hardware store or the gas station or something else. But, and I've got some copies of this, and I've got some other information that I didn't have time to get all of it printed out, but I will take your email or address, and if you don't have an email address, a hard copy address, I'll make sure everyone here is covered, because there was some information that Pauline brought in, including the new bill that was passed. But the one major thing that I wanted to bring up was, and I have a CPA out that I was going to have here, but unfortunately this meeting hit at the same time as quarterly, so all the CPAs are unavailable to be here. And it comes from the IRS government tax topics, and it's discussing the residents, coming at a resident. And if your home, if it's a private home, this does not apply to places of business. It says, in summary, if you use a dwelling unit as a personal residence and rent it for fewer than 15 days, essentially 14 days, you do not report any of the rental income and do not deduct any of the relevant expenses. If you rent your personal residence for 15 days or more, then you must report the income, but it can also deduct a prorated based on the number of days rented out of the year amount of your home expenses, such as property taxes, interest, etc. In other words, every resident, in this case we'll use Agua Dulce, you have available to you 14 days of tax-free income. Tax-free, all right? Put it in your pocket, no 1099, it's yours, and that's state and federal.
Is that in a row, or is that
No.
every different time of the year?
14 days in each fiscal tax year. So it doesn't have to be in a row, all right? If you can get it in a row, you're probably going to have some really upset neighbors. But before you condemn someone else for filming at their property, realize that you have the potential to have that income in your pocket. And Pauline's got an excellent linkage into the Film Commission that that shows exactly how to market your property as a film location. They also have the tabs for all of the location directors, etc. William Fix, unfortunately, was going to be here, and he's one of our local experts on filming, but he's sick tonight. But that is what I want to bring, that we're not just looking at lights in the sky, because all of us are concerned about that. And if there is an impact to you while someone's filming, there is a redress team, either through Pauline's office or going directly to the production and discussing with them what you might have a problem with. You've got a light shining in your eye and you've got to be up 3 o'clock in the morning. You might, I'm not saying you will, but you might meet a resolution with that location manager at that site, because they want everybody around to be happy. And they also are aware of people, of complaints. So if there are a lot of complaints in an area, then that might not be where they want to be, if they're legitimate complaints. And they might not be wanting to rent from you with all your neighbors. So one thing that I would stress to anyone that's thinking of filming or looking is getting with your neighbors and doing an individual impact report amongst your own peer group. So.
Right. Both Film LA, my office, and the state office, we field questions all the time from productions, and they'll ask us, we're looking at this area, what are the speed bumps? What can you tell us about this area? What do we need to do? And they spend maybe up to hundreds and thousands of, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of dollars doing notification, making sure everything is fine. This is a job to them, and they love it. They're creative, but they want to do it in a peaceful way. They want to come back and they want to leave the location unharmed so that, you know, everybody wins. Thank you for pointing out that the state does, California Film Commission, it's film.ca.gov. You can find sample location contracts, insurance requirements, how to market your property is like a 15-page document. If you don't know anything about filming, this is all you need to know, or again, take our cards and we'll walk you through this. But, and we're available for questions all the time, 24/7. Well, I am. Yeah, you are. They have 24, well, when I get the call, you know, we've got lights in our eyes, get down here before I call sheriff. I check with Film LA, do we have a permit? If they have a permit, then I just go down and fix it. If they don't, then we bring in the guns.
We've been together many times.
Yes, I've sat in this car in the back seat and I realized they don't have door handles. When you really want to get out and be part of the fight, you can't get out of the car. Thank you, Lord. Question?
Last question, Pauline. And Steve, I think it's more relative to relationship where you said we may not have to pay taxes for the first 14 days, but the filming companies on anything over $600 and then a 1099 because they're required by law to. So you're still going to return that money. And so you don't want to tell people not to declare it. All they're going to do is they're going to get it credit back on their taxes. But it is earned income into you. So you're going to get 1099 on anything over $600.
Yeah, you're right. They are going to ask you for this.
I've got copies of this up here where you can, that it does have an tax code and you can refer to it.
But
or like I said, I will be glad to.
But production will ask for proof that they did pay you because they need that for their books.
Right.
You're right. So I don't know how that comes back around. Any more questions? We're here. We're going to leave a stack of cards at the back, or I'll pass them around. Any other questions?